Mid says Odin split the sea in two. But there's two, and then...
I struggle to believe it myself.
I see your uncle isn't with it.
He stayed with the Enterprise. After our brush with the Einherja, she was in urgent need of repair. And my uncle to join him there when we're ready to...
You sure that's wise? Last I heard, the place was still overrun with a...
Show me a city where that isn't true. Ultima's plague is spread.
We're running out of time, aren't we? We've done our best to shore up that hideaway. But I doubt a few planks will stop what's coming. Still, we'll keep at it.
Let's hope so. I should visit Joshua, assuming Talia will allow it.
How may I help you today, Clive? Best of luck out there, Sid.
Fancy a look at the list, do you? Anything catch your eye? Think you can help?
How are you feeling, Joshua?
Better.
But not nearly as well as your cuts and burns may have healed. But you...
And what would you have had me do? It was no all yet still. The king could have ended me at any moment, but instead chose to toy with me like a...
Yeah. You underestimated...
Oh, it was crystal clear. Only one man established his dominance. I'm sorry, brother. It's just... I have never felt so powerless. And when so many are looking, perhaps the prince...
What is this place?
Don't move. Here, it's fresh from the well. Grandmother told me spirits sometimes get lost, and that the lanterns guide them to their proper place. I set one on the river for her when she passed away.
The fiend works from the shadows. Was it you who guided my hand then, Ultima? No, not you. This is my doing, my fault, my sin to bear. And for it, I must atone.
Your hurts are healing nicely. It was my poultices that saw you well.
You make them?
And sell them, or try to. Earns me enough for bread, most days.
Forgive me. I have nothing to...
I know, but I couldn't just leave you lying there. You're going then?
Of course. I'm healed. Thanks to you and your poultices.
Will you promise to come back and visit?
Well, Phoenix, it would seem that I owe you my wings.
Perhaps you will be returning to Waloed soon.
I see no reason to wait.
Then neither do I.
I can think of a few. You will.
Of course.
Set on leaving already,
How long will it take us to get back?
Dunno, about the same amount of time it took. Maybe less. If your uncle can find someone trustworthy. All depends on where we're putting into...
Yes. It's not as if we can put a... We have to assume that the whole of Ash is hostile.
Then we must find a place they won't think to look. And I have...
The Professor! I'll go and tell you coming.
While you're plotting our course, I'll be in the shelves with your lawsman. I wish to pick his brains about them.
Then I'll talk to Karen about supplies for the journey. They may not...
Your brother's body won't take much more of this reckless...
I do.
You've seen more of the world these past 5 years than most do in a lifetime. It's a shame you never have.
still say it were a compliment.
Say it all you like. It doesn't make it true. Ah, Clive. I was wondering when you'd arrive. Please tell me you've come to take our young prodigy here off my hands.
I'm not here for Mid.
Then why not ask Molly if you can look in one of her ovens?
As soon as the Enterprise is ready, we'll be setting out, and we're going to need a safe place to land.
Preferably one that won't see my ship blown to shit and splint.
If it were that easy, do you think Waloed would have resisted invasion? For so very little is known of Ash. And the information we do have is spotty, and we have the good King Barnabas to thank for that. Waloed's borders have been closed to outsiders since the day he seized the... If there is anywhere safe to land.
Then tell us what we will find.
But no splinters!
All right, but interrupt. Barnabas Tham, the one they call the Last King. Understand him, and you will understand the kingdom of Waloed. Barnabas was only a boy when he arrived from beyond the southern seas, and barely a man before he united the ragged tribes of Ash. And having unleashed them upon the formidable Veldamark, he set his throne upon the ancient kingdom's ruins. The victory sent shockwaves around Valisthea, tales of Odin's might spreading through every court, parlor, and drinking hole in the realm. Note that this was in the year 843, and that the king still sits upon his throne some 40 years later, quite untouched by time. Waloed's recent inaction left many wondering if Odin had lost his appetite for war. And yet here we are. The Einherjar was committed to the fray, a bold declaration of intent. Orcs swarm around Drake's Fang, and throngs of Akashic haunt Canva's streets. Though how precisely the havoc they wreak serves Waloed remains unclear. Regardless, if the order to attack truly came from King Barnabas, then one thing is certain. Waloed has achieved the impossible, and made bedfellows of beastmen and the ether-addled alike. All of which is a roundabout way of saying that you will be in unknown territory when you set foot on Ash. Much of the continent has already been lost to the Blight, and what few ports remain will be fiercely guarded. And that is to say naught of its natural defenses. Offshore currents will cast an ill-equipped ship out to sea one moment, and dash it against the rocks the next. But then the Enterprise is anything but ill-equipped. And Mid has made land there before. Now, if only there were someone with an intimate knowledge of the Shadow Coast, and where a daring gentleman might put ashore. You see, Clive?
Do you think you can get us back to that beach, Mid?
Picked you up from it, didn't I? Not that it were easy. The currents were right bast. But then, if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be...
Well said. Thank you, Lady Viv.
If a few morsels of common knowledge and a sprinkling of tavern talk are worthy of your thanks.
Probably more Mid. I need everyone in the ale. I'll fetch Joshua from the ship.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Back again? And how could it not? But are we any better? I cannot claim. Such are the wages. Ironic, then. How may I help you today? One must understand one's place in the world. Of course. Very good.
Please, Your Grace. My Lord Marquis. It was the greatest honor of my life. But now, so I bid you. Your companions are kind. I must admit, but I see now.
Gyotei, is anything the matter?
My lord, yes. It's your brother, though he does his best to hide it. The lesion on his
I had feared.
There are certain elixirs which can ease the suffering of those.
But
His Grace's case is severe. So I consulted with Talia and certain of my comrades and thankfully a recipe was found. And our supplies, unless we can secure more soon. My lord,
For Joshua. So?
A rare herb it grows only where the ether is densest. We discovered a patch near the aqueduct in Rosaria. But alas, yet more ether. The search continues for a new source.
So it's only that you can't reach it?
Well...
Then I shall go in your...
But...
You've yet to find another source, besides.
Well, Stonerwort is easily identified by its blood-red blooms. Search around... I shall remain here.
Then again, why settle for low-born chaff when we've honest-to-goodness royalty right here beneath our roof? If Prince Dion cannot see my love for him, then perhaps the Phoenix will.
Can we read Miss Editor's story for our lesson today?
Canva lost?
Have you tried Molly's lemon tarts? I've never had anything.
I'll find out who's been making up lies about Poe and Anne.
Stew's awful.
Happy on nuts and all.
There's no way of knowing if Doris will confide in me.
Covered in nicks and lumps, the lot of them.
Where are you?
Can I help you, Sid?
I'm looking for Doris.
I'm afraid not. She's my job, actually. When she heard what the mission...
Did she?
Following up on... Once they'd settled in, the bearers you helped liberate in the Dragon's Eyrie were keen to talk about their imprisonment.
The slaver Cole's team were tracking when they were attacked by the... I'll go and find her.
If she's not moved on already.
Why would Doris insist on going alone? Maybe Cole was right to be worried.
Mid said I could ride the Enterprise next.
Well, then
No, she didn't.
everything.
She said I could.
Clive, you must listen to this. Lawsman.
Do you recall when we spoke before on the divinity of Ultima? Well, and what I discovered appears to agree.
You will recall that my quest to uncover Ultima's origins began with the mural, but while I've always known it to be important, now, however, I believe I know...
Master Clive, have you ever in your travels I would think not, but there was once a time when the faith flourished, the oldest known religion in the Twins, and though its popularity eventually waned on Storm, hints of its dogma remain embedded in more modern faiths such as the Crystalline Orthodox.
Wait, you said it waned on Storm.
Religious monuments are often torn down or repurposed, but if no new faith arose, then perhaps, and so, you see now why I must...
It would appear the past still, though in this case, it would not have been possible. To think, I am relieved.
I shall guard it with my...
Joshua, if you're finished here, join me in the ale. I need to speak to everyone before we leave.
Right away.
If it please your grace, might I...
My apologies.
By now you've all heard where we're going and why. So I won't bother you with the boring details, only the important ones. If we attempt to approach Stone here by sea, there's a good chance we'll be sighted and fall prey to the capital's artillery. So instead, we'll disembark on the southwest coast and make for Drake's Spine on foot. I say we, but it's highly likely the entirety of Ash is under the rule of Ultima. A large party would only attract unwanted attention, as well as slow our march and require supplies which may be difficult to obtain. Only Joshua and I will be going. And a scout. Preferably a good one. Gav, do you know of any?
You bet your ass I do. Might still borrow some of Lady Vivian's maps, though. Just in case, like.
Once you've dropped us off at the Shadow Coast, you need to retreat into neutral waters, fly merchant colors, and stay inconspicuous. If you sense any danger at all, you leave us behind and return to Storm.
Inconspicuous is my middle name. But like hell am I leaving anyone behind. The ship ain't going nowhere till your scurvy mugs are smiling on deck.
Jill, the Enterprise will appear a tempting target for royalists and pirates alike. You're to stop anyone boarding.
Don't worry. I'll keep the ship and her crew safe. You'll be needing passage home, after all.
But... very well.
If there are no questions, I'll see you all at the docks.
Let me know when you're leaving. I want a word before you go.
Of course.
How do you split the sea, you reckon?
I reckon we're better off not knowing.
Is something wrong?
Not at all. Honestly. Can't imagine. Just wanted to let you know that I'll keep things in...
I'll hold you. The aqueduct. Now to find our stone wart. Yote mentioned blood-red petals. Just my luck. Well, I won't be picking anything till they're gone. There's only one thing for it. Here it is. Better collect as much as I can before reinforcements arrive. All right. That should do it. Let's get these back to Yotei.
Caution, brother.
Scorpions. At least I know what I'm up against. I better get this back to Yvonne before it goes bad. Or any worse, at least. A white feather. I thought Ambrosia was one of a... Speaking of Brit, looks like they went that way. These chocobos aren't going down without a fight.
We got you cornered. You didn't think you'd seen the last. You've been bad for business.
Not around here.
Oh.
Because she's something of a hero and you hurt her.
This.
All right then. You're safe now. White Heart, Do you know her, boy? That scar. It couldn't be. Ambrosia. It is you, Yusufa. And you found it.
Oi! They thought I'd come and see how... Oh, are you so... And the whole...
Thankfully, they did.
Well, I'll be. Though I dare say she'd suit. Reckon our feathered friend must have learned a thing or two from her master. Bird like her would have cost a princely sum.
Well...
Oh, no, sorry. I didn't mean to pry.
What is it, girl?
She wants her master back. Told you. And it seemed...
Is that it?
Well, bugger me if this ain't a heartwarming sight. Oh, stay... doesn't she?
She does indeed.
Ah, few scraps of leather. Oh, I'll be sad to see her go. Don't you worry. You hear that, White Hart? You've earned yourself... You seen all... That's it. When those chocobos swarmed my car on the road, didn't you?
Must have been my double.
Oh, must have been, eh? Oh, anyhow, best be on my way.
You take care of your... I'll call you when I need you.
Ready, go?
Yeah!
Whoa. Whoa.
Be safe.
Doris should be somewhere nearby. Assuming she's still here.
Making this town a welcoming place, but...
Ah, Clive.
Oh?
You remember how some of Sir Wade's guardians took up residence? Well, now the rest have come to join him. Seems they're barrack. Now, I don't mind having it, but we ain't got nowhere for him to bed down. I'd build him a new barrack, but where would I put him? Which leaves us in a bit of a pickle.
I see.
And it isn't just that lot. There's been more and more of them turning up lately. Coming, but there's only so many we can shout. We can't keep cramming more and more people into less and less space. And that's what I was hoping you might help me with.
It's no but.
Thank you.
So...
Well,
Eastpool. It's been a long time.
It was a tragedy, and if any of us could have done, but what's done is done. And
I suppose...
The blight might be pressing in, but I reckon there's just one. A band of cutthroats have made it their den. Nasty bastards they are too. Would have sent someone to clear them out sooner, if my boy... But now we've got a few more guardians of the flame to call on.
I do. Eastpool was once home to people like...
And I know the men. I've already shared a few thoughts with Sir Wade about... And I dare say he's got some ideas of his...
Of course.
Back to Eastpool, then.
Not just yet. Let's hear Wade's plan first.
My lord Marquis, is that you? It is you. I am Sebastian...
Of course.
Yes, my lord.
And what was so sensitive that you...
1,000 apologies, my lord.
It's all right.
I am here at tasked with learning what I am and what I have learned is grim. The subsequent darkening of the heavens has only made things worse. The gears of governance have ground the realm. Your lord uncle, however...
That sounds like...
It is. Hence my having in...
Alas.
I have lost contact. They are both able-bodied and trained in the sword.
So you want me to... I'll need to know where they...
One I sent to investigate...
That doesn't exactly narrow it down.
Thank you, my lord. My associate in Dhalmekia would have had to pass through the Republic's checkpoints to get entry to the capital. Perhaps someone in Dalimil or Tabor would have seen him.
Martha's got a big heart. It's a pity there's so many who are happy to take advantage of it.